All right, here we go with the video lecture for chapter 4. We are now looking at Rome. We're going to start with part number 1. Now, we're going to start with the area of early, or the time frame of early Rome. And here we see the Italian peninsula, right? Greece would be over here. North Africa will be down there. So, there's two main groups we're going to look at. The first one are called the Etruscans. And here we see some of their artwork. And another group called the Latins. Now, the Etruscans, they had a kingdom in the northern part of Italy, right, up here. And for a long time, they controlled the central part of Italy in a region called Latium, and the people that lived there were called the Latins. And what eventually happens is the Etruscans, right, they gain control because they developed bronze and iron metallurgy. So they have already gone into what we call the Iron Age, right? So they're using iron weapon and tools. And Italy is a perfect kind of like place to live because even though it has mountains, it's not as mountainous as Greece. So there's a lot of agricultural productivity. And the fact that it's a peninsula means that there's a lot of harbors and there's a lot of ports and a lot of places that you can, set sail to trade. And so the Etruscans, they lived there. They spread their culture throughout the northern and central part of Italy for a very long time. And eventually the Latins, they rose up against the Etruscan kings and overthrew them. And they built the city of Rome. And Rome originally starts as a small city-state. It's a small little farming village, and it grows into city-state, and it becomes the center or the capital of the Latin people. The Latin people are called the Latins because their language is Latin. So they adopt the some of the Etruscan culture, and eventually, by adopting the Etruscan style of fighting and adopting the Etruscan military, like weapons and technology, they're able to conquer the Etruscans, right, who had ruled them for a long time. And here we see what Rome would have looked like at its earliest moment, right, as a small farming community in the center of the Italian peninsula. So the Romans and Etruscans were not the only ones living in Italy. In the southern part of Italy, that you see here in this yellow area, the Greeks were living there. And the Greeks this was one of the many Greek colonies, and the Greeks had come to settle and live here. The Phoenicians were here as well, right, down there in Sicily. And from the Greeks, right, the Latin people, the Roman people, they come in contact and they acquire or they adopt a lot of the Greek cultural characteristics. The city of Naples, right, was the main city in of the Greeks in Italy, and back then it was called Neapolis, right? So it was the new city. Polis is always city. Nea means new. So, anyways, the Romans they adopt the writing, the alphabet from the Greeks. They adopt a lot of the Greek gods and goddesses, the pantheon of gods, and they rename them into the Latin names or the Roman names. They also adopt the type of government or the ideas about government from the Greeks as well. So they become a republic. They become a republic. And there's this myth of the founding of the city of Rome. According to legend, there's these two brothers, Romulus and Remus, and they are abandoned by their parents or they're orphaned, and they're raised by this wolf. And eventually, they grow up. One brother kills the other, and he becomes the first Roman king. So kind of very similar to the biblical story of Cain and Abel. All right, so that's early history of Rome. See you next time.